Hey, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great day, a blessed day, and getting 1% better than yesterday, and breaking free from whatever's holding you back from being the best version of yourself and having the best day ever. And that's what I'm trying to do every day. Not just living for the weekends, but making every day, every moment count the best I can. And there's some ways we can get 1% better today. I want to talk about a thrift store score. I want to talk about a couple Bible verses, one on principles and one on friendship. I want to talk about a passive idea income that I've been kicking around. Also want to talk a little bit about a funny news story I came across dealing with the financial prospects of this retired couple and how they're spending their retirement. Want to talk a little bit about prepping, maybe even stockpiling. I have been interested in that subject for a long time. I got a long ways to go. Perhaps I've taken the first 2 steps. I'll share those. And I was talking with a friend yesterday, Pat in Colorado, and we got talking a little bit about my dad. And that had stirred a few memories in me. One is this book that he gave me on Christmas of 1998 when I was 18. And another is a song that I wrote for him. I kind of wanted to bring more music to this show, to these episodes, kind of end every episode with a song, with a verse of a song. And it reminded me of this song that I wrote for him, and I just kind of glanced down at the lyrics, and I probably haven't sang it the whole way through in a long time. One of the first songs I ever wrote, probably when I was like 20, 21, maybe a little bit younger, when I was first starting to learn the guitar. And I'll share a little bit of that. But I'll just recap last week's side hustles, Instacart and Spark Walmart deliveries. I made $258. Today I was making a move for the $40 to freedom. I, however, only got to $33. I did have to cancel an early order that I took before I went out and saw my poor car was dead. I don't know, there was no warnings, there was no check engine light, it just wouldn't turn on. Very strange. We're going to have to get it into the shop here by the end of the day, but I used my wife's car and I still got out there and I made $33. I did my errands, looked in the thrift stores, and had a good day. I didn't let it bother me. I hung on to my standards, which we talked about in the last video. When things go wrong, don't let your standards fall and don't go into a tailspin. I also had a busy weekend at work last weekend, pre-Valentine's Day. Friday and Saturday were crazy. And I got tomorrow staring at me pretty good. I got to survive that day. It's all about survival for a server on Valentine's Day. But I'm also looking forward to it. One of the things I do on that day is I put my head down even more. When I first started this journey in 2019, 2020, 21, I would just go out and side hustle even more, even knowing that I was going to be running my butt off all day and just making it the best day that I could financially. So that's the way I'm going to attack it tomorrow. And before that, I did make this thrift store score. I think I came across this Saturday. This is a Gant bomber jacket from the 80s, 90s, leather collar. I walked into the store and didn't even know that they were having this winter sale. And coats and sweaters, winter coats and sweaters were 99 cents. So this was the one I came out with. I've been looking online at this. Seems to be $20. And that's another thing that I brought up last episode, was to make those small saving transfers that add up. Now, if I only did that once per week, that's $1,000 a year right there, finding $20 from the thrift store. So I'm proud of that. I'm not too good, for a $20 bill and walking in there and seeing what I can find. Probably left a couple things, that maybe I just didn't recognize. Also, this back here, this is my shipping scale that I use. And I would box up that coat or bag up that coat or a record, take this thing out, set it right on here. This is the perfect size. It will tell you the weight right there. So this It's a Accutech AST85. I'll try to leave a link in this description below if anyone wants. This changed my life because I was just a shipping fool, and I was trying to copy other people's shipping. Like if I was going to sell a record or a box of something, I'd see what somebody else was shipping it for, and I would end up undercharging and then have to pay the extra shipping outside of the profit, and that was never good. That box or that little scale will change your life. And thrift store scores will also change your life. Will help you put some money aside. And that money is starting to pile up now for me a little bit. I got a nice little nest egg going, and the more that it grows, the less I want to spend it. And so that's kind of what I got thinking about this passive income idea down below, which I'll talk to you about in just a moment. But first, I'd like to start off the week with a couple Bible verses. The ones that I was thinking about today are principles, because I was listening to a Ray Dalio speech last night about his principles for life, and I definitely need to spend more time with it, but I want to have my own principles for life that make decisions easier. And I came across this Bible verse, Hebrews 13:18, that says, "Pray for us, that we are sure we have clear conscience, desiring to act honorably in all things." And I want to act honorably in all things. I want to have a set of principles, a set of rules that make it very easy to make decisions in my life that will lead me to have the best day ever and to become the best version of myself that I can be, to keep my promises to myself. And I have to work on that set of principles. I'm going to spend more time with it today, but perhaps just have the principles and change my identity to a happy and healthy person who does happy and healthy things, who maybe has the principle to not put things into your body that could harm it, like, excess sugary drinks, cancer-causing foods, toxins. Maybe I have a principle that I don't stay out late. Maybe I have a principle that I only drink this much when I do go out, one or two. Principles about gambling, principles about health and fitness and investments and savings and what I will and will not tolerate, and just principles for life. And I want to study his more and come up with something that suits me. So that was a Bible verse on principles, desiring to act honorably in all things, and to do all things so that it would benefit me the most, so that I can become the best version of myself. And then one on friendship. A friend reached out to me, I think it was Friday or Saturday, ran into this channel, stumbled upon it. It was pretty cool. It's the second person from my hometown that has found the channel, and I'm so glad that he did, and he had kind things to say, so that was really cool. And I found this verse that jumped out to me, Galatians 6. It says, "Carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." And carry each other's burdens. Like maybe we're helping each other out here. We're rising together. Helping each other discard those burdens and become as free as we can. And that's the goal of this channel. And that one just kind of jumped out at me. We carry each other's burdens, help each other out, make each other lighter to lift, like we've spoken about in the magic of thinking big, and pull each other up, right? We'll be easier to lift. So then I want to talk about passive income and putting this money to work that I have saved up. I want to keep it somewhat liquid. Like, it'd be fun to invest in a sports card, and I've done it. Some have worked out and some haven't. But if I just had the card and it didn't skyrocket, I just want the money. I'd want to have it again. So I was thinking of dividends. Now, what helped me tremendously in my financial freedom pursuit and becoming debt-free completely, and starting to invest, because it was something that I couldn't even really think of before I started this journey, was I was intimidated by investing. And so what I learned was to just take the total stock market, a mutual fund that has the total stocks and the total bonds. And that ratio can be however you want it to be. 75-25 stocks versus bonds, 60-40, 80-20, 90-10. I think we're around like the 75-25 stocks, bonds, total stock market. And just put everything in there. That's what J.L. Collins says. That book changed my life, The Simple Path to Wealth. I'll try to remember to put that in the description below. I actually lent that to my best man who was here over the summer, and I don't know if it hit him yet. He said he hadn't read it a few months ago. I kind of wish I had my copy back. I'm going to rebuy it because I want my daughters to see that. But just do that. Just set it and forget it. And then over the course of time, the stocks will go up. And so I thought that was very interesting. And why rock the boat on that? And I don't think he even thinks like REITs are real estate funds. There's dividend funds. And I think he says just put it all in. Just put it all into the total stock market. So you have the whole American economy. And if it busts, there's going to be no economy anyways, right? So what's it matter? So, just put it in, and you have to know that there's going to be crashes, but over the course of time, for the long-term hold, that it will go up. Do your own research, I think you have to say. But I started thinking about dividend stocks. I've seen it once in a while that these stocks are certain stocks, certain companies that pay out dividends in January, and some pay out in February, and some pay out in March. And I've been thinking about coming up with a dividend calendar to buy some stocks. My money will be put to work in a passive way that pay out each month. Some stocks or some companies that pay out in March, examples would be McDonald's, Target, UPS, and Walgreens. Some examples for April would be Cisco, Walmart, Philip Morris, and Coca-Cola, pretty big ones. There's no guarantees in this, of course. You have to pay attention to a number of different things. And I believe there's a dividends aristocrats list, which ranks the top 25 dividend stocks. And basically, it's when a company passes its profits to shareholders. And it's another income stream. It's passive income stream. I like to think in all things 10, 15 years ahead. I got a solid little chunk now. If I can keep putting these $20 flips to some of those dividend stocks, knowing that I have no debt, which helps you to raise income. Hold on, somebody's trying to call me. It's easier to put some money aside. So I looked at a few annual rates of return for these dividend stocks. Say Verizon. Over the last 5 years, they've paid out 6.44% dividend yield on the investment. So if you put $100 in, $100 worth of Verizon, you would get back $6.44 a year. Now that's not a lot, but if you were to put in $10,000, that would be $644 a year. And you keep reinvesting your profits back in. You don't take it and go buy, coffee initially or Christmas presents. You keep putting it back in, and this stuff keeps paying you more and more over time as it compounds. AT&T was 5.77%. Ford was 4.54%. Citigroup was like 4.04%. Hasbro 4.63% for every $100. And I don't know, I've just been kicking around that idea. I am very comfortable with the simple path to wealth, where I just have the total stock market. For like our retirement stuff, we do have a brokerage account too and an IRA. But I thought about another income stream, and then maybe 10, 15 years down the line, could I dare get $1,000 worth of passive income a month if I build it up over the next 10 to 15 years? That's interesting to me, because by then my waiting tables job will be long gone. I would assume I'd still be doing something. I'll still be flipping stuff because I love that. Hopefully still in the gig economy. maybe waiting tables a little bit here and there if there's a new boss that takes over my restaurant in 15 years or this or that, or if I pick up a breakfast shift or two or a night or two because I miss it. But I wouldn't mind having $1,000 to just cut right off, from passive income streams that I've built up starting now. So that's just something that I've been kicking around. I talk a lot about on this channel of turning off the news, and I love not knowing the news. My wife was telling me something the other day. She's like, it's been all over the news, and I always feel pride when somebody says that to me because I have no darn idea. But I saw this because I follow some finance news and stuff and have my own interests. And there was this thing that said this retired couple in their mid-50s, they live on a cruise ship because it's cheap. They live on a cruise ship full time because it's cheaper than paying a mortgage. And they're in the retirement. They have their savings. They figure they could live on about $100 per day. They spend about $36,000 a year, and they live on about $89 to $100 a day. They have occasional hotel stays, and they occasionally live with family. But I thought that was pretty crazy to live on. I never would have considered such a thing, and it's kind of cool when you find out something that you would have considered. And this whole channel is basically that, because I had no idea about any of this stuff 4 or 5 years ago. Personal development, financial freedom in all ways of life. So I thought that was cool. I don't know how practical it is. Sometimes when I stay in hotels, like if we're going to a concert and we're up past Buffalo or something, and we stay in this hotel that's $160 a night, I think about, okay, 160 times 365, what would that be? I just love hotels for some reason. I don't know. I actually did live in a hotel in New York City. It was called the Vanderbilt Hotel. It's it's on 47th Street between 2nd and 3rd, kind of right east Midtown, and it was above a YMCA. It's called the Vanderbilt Hotel. I could stretch my arms out like this and touch the walls on each side. I think I went a little insane in there, but that's okay. I wrote a lot of these songs in that hotel room. That was one good thing. My best friend and best man at the time, he lived up on 64th Street. That was really cool. It was a bunk bed, and the computer was under the bed so you could have more time. This was like 2003, long before JB breaks free. I was not a free man at that point, just a crazy kid trying to figure it out. But I did and do love New York City still. And then shifting gears to the next topic, prepping. Emergencies. Not prepping for the end of the world, not prepping for a zombie apocalypse, not necessarily even prepping for the whole economy to collapse, the end of the world, nuclear strike, none of that stuff. Just, I feel like at least a start too is, are you prepared for 2 weeks? I know a lot of people aren't. I think I want to have a 2-week preparedness stockpile with food and energy and water and supplies that you might need. And I think the first thing is to have a plan. So we put together this emergency binder, and of course, some of the things that go in here are medical issues. I have seasonal allergies, small fiber neuropathy, the medications that we might take for my wife, daughters, and their conditions, our primary doctors, our neurologists, dentists, and eye care. We got in there. We have our family contacts, mother-in-law, father-in-law, our parents, and our siblings. We have our IDs in here, our insurance cards, and they are in basically these like plastic sheets so you can keep the paper safe. I'll try to link some of this stuff down below. Our financial accounts, our main checking, savings accounts, investments, mortgage, bye-bye, our social security cards, birth certificates, copies. These are all copies that we made from printing paper. birth registrations of the girls and ourselves, marriage certificate, marriage registration, the lien on our house, and our car. So we have all that in an emergency binder. And in one of my videos last week, as I was trying to practice editing and writing clips, I showed water jugs that were in my basement. And to have a 2-week water supply for 4 people times 14 days, you need 56 gallons of water for a 2-week supply, a stockpile of 56 gallons of water. And when I go to Wegmans, they sell 4-gallon water jugs. And there is an empty one right here. These guys. And we have 14 of these in the basement, actually 15, just by chance. We have enough because 4 gallons, 56 gallons divided by 4-gallon jugs is 14 jugs, which is exactly what we need for 4 people for 2 weeks. And you do need more because for cooking and all that sort of thing, bathing. But so we are prepared with a 15 of these guys, and we try to keep that in the house. Sometimes we have a little bit more, sometimes we have a little bit less. But that's something that I want to focus on, and I want to continue to focus on in the future. I know Jan from NYC has a great treasure trove of stockpiling videos as well, so check out some of her stuff. I know I'll be studying some of that stuff and from others, and hopefully will pass on the progress that I have made on my journey to just kind of become anti-fragile and grow resilient and not just be at utter collapse when things go wrong. I will be free to last at least those 14 days. And, you got to start somewhere, right? You got to start with the first step. So that's where I am with prepping and stockpiling right now. And then finally, just getting into the topic of my dad for a little bit. And this book right here, Fathers and Sons. I keep this upstairs in my attic / man cave / room where I keep all my shipping supplies and stuff that I have listed. I thought I was going to hang out up there when I first got the house, but there's really no reason. But it is a pretty cool, somewhat finished attic, and this is always on the shelf, and I always look at it and think about it, and think about the quote that he highlighted. It says, little inscription, 12/25/98. Jason, I thought this book would be nice for you. I hope what you read stirs memories and thoughts of the future. I love you, Dad. I like the Robin Williams quote, and he's got like a little piece of yarn in here to save it. Robin Williams quote. And it's interesting reading this as an 18-year-old, as a 25-year-old, as a 30-year-old, as a 40-year-old, as a soon-to-be 43-year-old. It says, "It's a wonderful feeling when your father becomes not a god, but a man to you." It's tough to even get through some of this stuff. When he comes down from the mountain and you see he's this man with weaknesses and you love him as a whole being and not a figurehead. And it is pretty interesting when that process changes. And I can see that I'm still in the God phase to my kids. And boy, if they only knew the weaknesses that I have and had and have overcome and continue to overcome. And, that shift will take place one day as they get older and they can recognize the different things that they see in their dad. But I did write this song. It's called Oh Daddy Oh, and I'm just going to share it here real quick. Oh Daddy Oh, you You've done so much for me, more than you may ever know. You filled my days with so much joy, and I'll always be your little boy. You bought me my first ball and glove. You always gave me all your love. And Daddy, don't you ever forget. No matter, I'll always look up to you, no matter how tall I get. Remember when you used to tuck me into bed, cover me up and kiss me on the forehead, and say goodnight, my son, sleep tight. I'll see you in the morning, and don't let those bed bugs bite. Oh, oh, Daddy, oh, you've done so much for me, more than you may ever know. You fill my days with so much joy. I'll always be your little boy. You led by example for me to see. Whatever I did, you were always so proud. If I messed up, you just couldn't stay mad. You're as fine a dad as a boy ever had. All the advice you gave me still rings true. I hope I'm half as good dad as you. All we shared can never come undone. It's not the flesh and bone, but the heart that makes father and son. And then the chorus, but I couldn't get through it. But that's it. There's just one more chorus left. There's probably a reason why I don't play it that much, but I'm proud of that one. I remember my friends used to like it back in the day, and then new songs replaced that one, and but so that was that. And I hope you're having a great day, a blessed day, and having the best day ever. I know I'm trying to do the same. And have a great evening. I'll talk to you on the next video.